It's taken several years and an entire administration change, but the smoking gun from the IRS targeting scandal may have finally been found. Beginning in at least 2010, the Obama-era IRS started singling out particular political groups which were applying for tax-exempt status. Those grassroots organizations, many of which were conservative or Tea Party groups, were targeted for additional scrutiny and often had their applications delayed by a deluge of paperwork and bureaucracy. Former IRS executive Lois Lerner and others within the government repeatedly insisted that political leanings had nothing to do with the targeting. Now, a bombshell email from 2011 may prove that they were lying. The email was released last month as part of a massive document dump in a class action lawsuit filed in Ohio by hundreds of conservative groups who were targeted for extra review and intrusive questioning, explained the Washington Times. Trending, body cam footage shows white cops handling armed black suspect perfectly. It contradicts the IRS's official stance over the years contending that conservative groups were wrongly scrutinized, but it was a result of their behavior, not their politics, continued the newspaper. That email from inside the IRS itself confirms that the agency knew Tea Party and patriotic groups were being singled out, but continued the anti-conservative discrimination anyway. Here is the smoking gun: these cases are held back primarily because of their political party affiliation rather than specifically any political activities, IRS official Elizabeth C. Kastenberg wrote to supervisors in the April 2011 email. Minor adjustments were made within the IRS to make it look like no political targeting was going on, but the evidence shows that the problem only got worse. The Albuquerque Tea Party, which was one of the first to be flagged as a Tea Party case in March 2010, wasn't approved as a non-profit organization until this summer, reported the Times. That's _7 years later. In two court cases still pending in federal court in the District of Columbia, Tea Party groups say they fear they are still suffering the effects of the targeting, explained the newspaper. They want assurances that having been singled out for scrutiny won't mean they will have to face more frequent audits or other penalties. Civil lawsuits are one way that conservative groups may finally receive recompense for the targeting, but the fact remains that IRS officials, including Lerner, have essentially escaped the consequences of knowingly using a government agency as a political weapon against everyday Americans. While the media desperately tries to spin a narrative of Russian collusion and outside influences on the 2016 election, they seem shockingly silent on the admitted targeting of conservatives during the Obama administration, and during the run-up to the 2012 presidential election. Related, Sarah explains just how history will remember President Trump. Are illegal influences used to sway an election not a big deal if it was the Obama administration doing the tampering? The media's silence is deafening. This abuse of power flies in the face of everything the country is supposed to believe in. Using a supposedly nonpartisan agency like the IRS as a political battering ram against citizens is a tactic from the Soviet Union, not the United States of America. Even after all these years, the truth needs to come out, and those responsible need to be held accountable. Please press share on Facebook if you're outraged that this abuse of power was allowed to continue. What should be done with this new information? Scroll down to comment below.